Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome, true art believers, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I do acrylic paint pour videos, live stream drawing sessions. Actually, not so much live stream drawing sessions as much as I used to, but I definitely do the live streams occasionally. I interview artists around the world, and sometimes the most non sequitur, weird video that makes no sense. Because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want with it. And I'm not going to let you dictate me what I want to do with my channel. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyways, today I'm going to do a little bit of chitty chat about my artwork, about where I stand, and probably talk a little bit about some things that have been on my mind. And then we're going to call it a day. How about that? I'm going to try to filibuster for about 15 minutes. But first, I like doing that. So this is a drawing that I've been working on, and I don't know. It's some things about drawing that people don't talk about, and I'm just going to talk about it anyways. Like you just don't. You wake up. You don't always wake up and are able to produce. I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast. So this is what it looks like right now. It's about halfway there. It's about halfway there. I'm still tweaking things, moving things around, and still trying to find the voice for this drawing, but it's getting there, and I'm happy that it's moving along. But I woke up this morning with I woke up, and I'm not supposed to do that. I did exactly the opposite of what I wanted to do. So I woke up this morning. I'm gonna remove it right quick. I'm gonna exit out of that, and I'll talk about it. So I woke up this morning. I started drawing, and I just wasn't happy with the way the drawing was going, and a few things. I was just wasn't feeling it. Days that you don't feel it, right? Like you don't feel like drawing, and there's days that it affects your the outcome of the drawing. Okay, so let me screen share this again. I have a super OCD like mentality. I do something, if I do something and I'm not 100% sure that I did it correctly, I'll back out. So what I did is I backed out because I did a little thing where I expanded the layer there, and I didn't like that. So I've been trying to figure out how I want to go about this drawing. I started out by working with purely airbrush, and then I started layering up with a more bristly type of brush, and I just didn't like it. It wasn't getting the effect. I think the reason why is because I was so in tune with the effect of what have I. All right, whatever. Hopefully I saved it. Anyways, so in tune with the airbrush effect that I've been struggling to figure out how to merge the airbrush effect with the brush type of effect, and it's been a little trial and error. So I think I know where I'm going with it a little bit. It's on its downhill trajectory, meaning I've gone up, got to the middle point. Now I'm going downhill. I'm going downhill, guys. I'm going downhill. I'm going downhill with this live stream, that's for sure. This is going nowhere, like a train wreck. Let me tell you. Yeah, so it's moving along nicely, and I can't draw and talk at the same time. I don't know why. I just can't do it. I just can't draw and talk at the same time. I think that's one of my weaknesses as a teacher. Like I'm trying to teach, and I feel that part of the teachers is supposed to kind of narrate the what you're thinking at the time. so that there's added context. And there's some, and I always have trouble with that. I always have a little bit of trouble with adding that type of context. So I never really was really good at that. I've gotten better at it, but it's not like my skill set. Um, so I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I woke up this morning and I was just so groggy. I was so groggy, and I procrastinated, and eventually I got to drawing a little bit. And after about an hour of drawing, I wasn't feeling that forward momentum, so I just stopped. I stopped, and I was like, you know what? I stopped. And said, I know. You know what? I'm just gonna go back to bed and wake up, and then maybe I'll get a little bit of inertia, momentum moving towards this drawing. And it happened, but it happened like near the end of the drawing, like the drawing block that I set for the day. And that sucks. Sometimes that happens where you have a set of time that you allocated for your drawing, and you have to stop, or you have to stop when you get some actual inertia, actual momentum. Um, but it took me a while. There's those days where it takes a while to get that feeling of of like everything's making sense visually. It takes a while for your eyesight to kind of really apply what it's seeing to this painting surface or drawing surface. And unfortunately it took too long, and that's probably why I kind of abandoned the morning's drawing session. Is I was things weren't aligning the way that I wanted them to align in the drawing that morning. And maybe I was a little bit lazy, I don't know, maybe a little lazy, a little tired. um, a lot of things kind of going on. This weekend I was I'm going to talk a little personal stuff. That I'm going to get a little personal here. So this weekend, I work at a restaurant on the weekend, and for some extra side cash. And I was everyone was out there in the bar having a beer or two, and I was like, oh man, I want that beer. I want to sit down and just relax a little bit. And I felt like a little case of the FOMO. I got a little down. I got a little down on myself because I was like, man, I just want to do something like that every once in a while. And then I said to myself, but if I do, it's just gonna like spiral out of control. It's just gonna spiral out of control. And so some things you just gotta. It's almost like you gotta almost have to let go a little bit of some of those things that in the end are very finite. Like that night that you go out and have a couple drinks and have a little fun, it's gone. It's gone. It's no more. It's no longer there. You're never going to have that moment. So what are you going to do with that moment? Like that beer is going to be gone, and or that time in the bar is going to be gone. What did you get from it? And I was like, you know what, I need to go home and do a little bit of video editing, even though like my editing was like, when I say editing, I say that with a very like grain of salt, because there's not a lot of editing. It's more like I'm cutting out segments of video and just like moving it around, right? But that's it. That's one of the things you have to do is you have to have some sacrifice. I was just listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about, it was not even a podcast, it was like a inspirational quote thing, because I was like, I need a little bit of a pick me up. I need something to kind of give me some context a little bit. And it was talking about there's days that you just you don't feel like it. Like I can relate. Like there's days he was talking about working out and stuff. Like I don't want to lift weights. Like who wants to do that? Like it's not all fun and flowers and dandelions in weightlifting land. it's hard work, and it can be darn right agitating, you know. Uh, but yeah, it's just one of those things. And so I have to take my artwork with a grain of salt some days, and just keep pushing forward, and hope that it amounts to something. And it can be a rough. There's rough days. There's rough days in drawing land, and there's really good days. And you hope that your drawings have the days that you're drawing, that you have more good drawing days than um, rough days. And you just got to keep chugging along. You know. All right. Oops. There we go. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Is just talk about my artwork a little bit, show you the progress of it, show you where it's at, talk about how, when you have FOMO, right? When you have a little bit of fear of missing out, you're not alone, and you just got to keep, if you have a goal or some sort of thing you want to accomplish, you kind of, you just got to push that relaxation moment aside and just keep your eye on the ball and focus on the target. Focus on getting your some things that you want to get done. So like my goals is getting this drawing done, and I'm focusing on it, trying to get it done as quickly as I can. And in honesty, in all honesty, though, there's some days that like I'm going slower than others. Today was a really slow day. It took me an hour to really it took me an hour of just piddling on the paper, on the drawing surface, before I even like got anywhere, because I was like, how am I going to do this? Um, and you'd think that this far along I wouldn't have these questions, but I'm always asking, like, how am I going to pursue this drawing this time? What's going to be different? And so it took me an hour for that, and then it took me an hour, and then another hour of going back to bed and waking up, and then it took another 30 minutes to really kind of see what I'm doing, and then uh, the last 30 minutes was there's some essence of like things working in simpatico, like things working in sequence, right? But there's a lot of times, like today, as I said, you're gonna have those bad days. You're gonna have those bad days, like in the Joe Rogan podcast, the guy was talking about, uh, like he was talking about writing. Joe Rogan was talking about writing, right? He was talking about writing and how there's days that you're gonna write absolute garbage, right? It's gonna be awful work, and then you got to pick yourself up and work on it again. And so that's what you got to do. Is like some days you're going to be drawing, and it's not going to be absolute garbage, at least not for me. But like it's not going to be work. Like it's not going to be stellar. It's not going to be exceptional. It's not going to be anything to brag about. Just like this podcast, this little video here. Like it took me a good 10 minutes before to really sort out the ideas that I was thinking. Um, uh, I digress. I backed. Let me take that back. It took me a good 14 minutes to really sort out what I was thinking and to address them in a coherent manner, to formulate those sentences so that things are kind of working in sequence. And partially the reason why it wasn't like that, it took me a while to kind of figure out to kind of think about those ideas, is because I was drawing at the same time, and my mind was like I was split. I was thinking about drawing and talking at the same time, and now I'm not drawing anymore. I'm done for the moment, and I'm going to work on it tomorrow. And I'm trying to get back to doing these little drawing, these live streams where I draw a little bit and talk a little bit. But my goal is to do that only at the very end of my time block, because if I do it during my time block, then I am not focusing on the drawing. I'm multitasking, and I don't want to multitask. So this is a different type of like drawing like live stream where I'm doing things. I'm talking and I'm focusing on I'm focusing more on the talking and less on the drawing. So um, yeah, as you can see, it's working out pretty good, and it's almost done. And I can't be too disappointed with it. As I said, I think I'm gonna at the latest have it done by Saturday. At the earliest, whenever I get it done. Hopefully, I'll get it done earlier than that, but it might be Saturday because it might take that much time to for me to kind of like really understand what I'm trying to do with this drawing. And it's one of the things about digital drawings. I'm always like learning learning a little bit more, doing a little bit more, and adding a new like strategy or a new drawing technique to it, and it's allowing me to progress in the drawing quicker, but also it slows me down, so I'm able to do different things faster, but I'm always adding a new element to the drawing, which slows me down a little bit more, and then I'm trying to figure out how I can make this faster. But it is what it is. I'm learning as I go. Uh, I wish everyone a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. I got to go.